Zap 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 Lightning. Zap Zap Lightning. Lightning.
Hello everybody, it's me, the LEGO Dude, and in today's video I'll be breaking down every LEGO Star Wars set releasing this June. Kicking things off, we have what I think is the most exciting set of the wave with the 75391 Captain Rex's Y-Wing Microfighter for $13 with 99 pieces. This set is based off the Y-Wing we first saw Captain Rex pilot in the Clone Wars Season 7 back in 2020. It's a shame that we haven't gotten a full-scale version yet, but hopefully that'll happen sometime soon. Focusing back in on this set and first looking at the minifigure selection, we first have the Phase 2 Captain Rex minifigure who we previously saw in the UCS Venator last year in October. While it does have its fair share of problems, overall it's still top quality. The torso print is mostly amazing, with the only potential point of criticism being the oversized ammo pouch. It might just be a stylistic choice, but even so, it is worth mentioning that it's an inaccuracy. All of the arm and helmet prints are phenomenal, however it could have just been that extra bit better if it had more tally marks on either side of the helmet to make it as accurate as possible. Under the helmet, he has a generic clone face with an added inhibitor chip bandage print where Captain Rex's inhibitor chip was removed. The pauldron on his shoulder is made of cloth and comically covers his entire arm. The leg printing is good, however LEGO's choice to print waist capes as little stripes on the front of the legs instead of adding actual waist capes is still very annoying. Overall, this is a good minifigure which represents Captain Rex quite well. There has been some controversy about this Captain Rex being the same as the one we saw in the UCS Venator, however I think that the 8-month period where it was exclusive was a fairly reasonable time frame. Looking at the microfighter itself now, I think LEGO did a great job putting it together. It has a smooth, well executed design that matches up well with the actual Y-Wing. The stud shooters are clunky but serve as a staple play feature for these smaller, cheaper sets, so I'm not too bothered by them. Overall, this is a great microfighter, however the $3 price increase from LEGO feels like a sort of reverse psychology trick. Since on the third-party market, Rex has a high value, which should not be a factor allowed to influence the price at all, but it seems like LEGO are actually letting it influence it. Next up, we have the 75386 Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon battle for $40 with 289 pieces. First looking at the minifigure selection, we have 4 in all. The 2 Elite Praetorian Guards have interesting designs, however without waist capes they're not as good as they could have been. A third Praetorian Guard would have been appreciated since there are 3 in the scene it's based off, and with the $40 price tag it really should have been included. Next up is Moff Gideon in his Mandalorian Super Commando armor. It looks phenomenal with all the amazing leg, torso, and helmet prints, and they even made a custom helmet mode for him to be accurate. One big disappointment though is that he doesn't have a cape, which played a large part in making him look intimidating. Lastly, we have Paz Vizsla, who looks cool but is only slightly different from the last version of him we saw a couple of years ago. Overall, this is a solid minifigure selection but could really use that third Praetorian Guard. Looking at the build now, it's not amazing, but it's still very good. The rock detailing on the sides is very well crafted and flows well into the Imperial base build. The door on the base can be lifted or dropped, and there's also a small side section to store a minifigure or to store some extra supplies. The laser turret on top can be turned around, has a pilot seat for Moff Gideon, and 2 stud shooters. Overall, it's a very good set that might be overpriced at $40, but once it's 20% off for $32, it'll be a very good set to pick up. Next up, we have the 75373 Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack for $20 with 109 pieces. First looking at the minifigures, we have an amazing lineup. There's 2 Stormtrooper Super Commandos with phenomenal prints all around, brand new molded helmets, and what seem to be new types of jetpacks. Next up are 2 Mandalorian soldiers, 1 normal one and 1 Night Owl. Both are amazing, and altogether this is an absolutely top quality minifigure selection for a battle pack. Looking at the build now, it's mostly a small rock structure with well crafted detailing. It can be connected to the Paz Vizsla vs Moff Gideon battle with a connection on the corner of both of these sets. Back to the build now, we have a sort of pipe piece to put a minifigure on to make it look like it's flying. Also included here is a miniature crate and a small cannon. Overall, this is a great battle pack, and once it goes 20% off, it'll be a good set to pick up 1 or 2 copies of. Finally, the last set we have is the 75390 Luke Skywalker X-Wing Mech for $16 with 195 pieces. The minifigure here is a decent quality Luke Skywalker with mostly generic X-Wing pilot prints. Looking at the main build now, we have the X-Wing Mech, which is in my opinion both hilarious and amazing. It has the classic mech build that we usually get, with the twist of there being X-foils included on the back. The X-foils are attached on ball joints so you can turn and move them in several different directions. There's also a clip on the back of the X-foils for Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and a hip clip for his blaster. Hilariously, this mech holds a giant lightsaber and blaster. This X-Wing mech really reminds me of a Transformer, which is another reason why it's one of my favorite mechs that they've released. This actually might just outright be my favorite LEGO mech that they've ever released. Overall, this is an amazing set that with the extra material is a much better value than many other mechs. Overall, this is a great wave of sets with not a single miss. All of these sets are amazing, and I would say this is the best wave of the year. If I was putting these in order from worst to best. At the bottom, I would put the Paz Vizsla versus Moff Gideon duel. In third place, I would put the ambush on Mandalore. In second place, I would put the Captain Rex microfighter. And then in first place, I would put this X-Wing Transformers mech. Alright everyone, that is everything for today's video. Tell me your thoughts on these sets in the comment section down below. Which new minifigure is your favorite? Which of these sets is your favorite? What are your thoughts on the wave as a whole? And one last thing before you leave, please remember to hit the subscribe button, ring the notifications bell, and leave a like on the video. Bye!